Guys, welcome to the episode 40. This is the peer-to-peer network coding session series, and today we will continue working specifically on the setup of a profile. Um, Setup of a profile when the user sign up at a social trading app, and this is part of the upgrade that we are making of the peer-to-peer network, where we are differentiating the social personas from the user profile, and all of this is related to that goal to get to iteration number 2 of the peer-to-peer network. Okay, so let's jump into the code. Okay, so here is where we left. Um, so to recap a little bit, we check and create a fork if needed, and we need to check and create a user profile. So we already checked if the file of the user profile exists, and if it doesn't, we start creating the profile hierarchy here. But then we will follow the procedure of creating a profile done by the profile constructor, because we might be able to reuse some of that code on one side, and on the other side we might be able to yes, to put some of that code in a common library so that we can reuse it. So here I'm going to commit what we had before. This is load profile from GitHub done. Okay, so let's go to the governance project UI, function libraries. I'm looking for the profile constructor. Okay, the guy is here. Okay, so profile constructor. This we are somehow replicating what this guy is doing. So let's check this out. Okay, profile constructor has three different main functions. One is build profile, the other install sign-in accounts. And it is essentially sending information back and forward from the platform client, because it doesn't have the libraries to create and to sign all this stuff. So here is the function that we need to sign. Okay, so the private key, we store it at the config so that the user can pick it up from there. And we save this as a plugin. Okay, we will have to follow this as a guide. The first thing is to create a wallet account. So we are going to check this out. Um, so Web3 server is the guy that has these functions. So I'm going to get this module, Web3 server, and look for the function. Okay, so the function is very simple. This is what we do. So because we are running an Node.js, we don't need to send anything to anybody. Just do this. So just like that, we have the account. So what else does the profile constructor do? um, so this is the response. If it fails, it's go like this. Otherwise, so then sign user profile data. From here, we have the private key and the address, okay? So check this out. Address and private key. The address. Okay, so we are going to need this later, but we already have it. Cool. So then now we are going to sign the user profile, and the data is the GitHub username, what we're signing. So let's get in here. Sorry, Web3. So essentially, in our case, we're going to do this. Signature is going to be, what we're going to assign is the owner. In our case, which in turn is the story provider username. Okay, so now we got the signature, and once we have the signature, blah blah blah, we create a user profile. So here we create this default governance stuff, but in our case, we are not about governance. So we don't need this. But we will need to put the signature at the profile config, so that the configuration should look like this. So it's going to be an object that includes the signature. So that's what we're going to do. Let user profile config is going to be equal to an object with signature, and we're going to do something like this: user profile config equal JSON stringify. Okay, so now we have the profile, sign it with the private key. Okay, so my guess is that we are going to be building a response where I can be adding information to. So the status is going to be okay. Message user profile. Well, the message I can dynamically use the message depending on if it existed or not. For example, I can say response.message like this. Or, for example, new user profile created. But also, I can do, I will return the mnemonic It's strange that we can we are not showing the mnemonic to back up this. Well, whatever. Um, so I'm going to send back the private key and the mnemonic to private key. Okay, it seems that there is no way to get, or maybe there is a way, but I don't know it, to get a mnemonic from a private key. Let's check it out. I'm doing a quick search to see if we can send the mnemonic. Okay, it's not possible apparently, so no need to search for this. I guess that the way to do it is, instead of creating the wallet, um, okay, so far this is what I want to do. I want to return the private key to the user interface, to the web app, and there should be some standardized way of creating the wallet based on, for sure, the wallet based on the mnemonic. Yes, we already did that. But picking 12 words, there should be some library that allows you to do that, like in an easy way. But for now, I think this first version is going to be like this. So we are at the point where we created the wallet. For the new user profile, sign the user profile with the wallet private key, and we are going to be returning the private key as part of this sequence. Okay, then this is going to continue here. Add user apps. Okay, so what we need to do here is to create this user app node. User apps node and add it to our current user profile, and then depending on the type of app that is using this, we create one of the other guys. So we have the user profile here, so we're going to do this: user profile, user apps is going to be equal to a new object, user apps, my user apps, and a config equal to an empty object. Okay, so that was easy. Then we will see what we have here. Depending on that, we will create this branch or this branch. Okay. Okay, so we have the two situations, and what we're going to do is in this first one, user app dot desktop apps is going to be equal to this. So name type is going to be desktop apps. My desktop apps, and that's it. But also we will include, okay, I can have multiple of these guys. So to make myself sure what I need to put this social trading desktop apps. Okay, social trading desktop apps. I'm going to create them all together here. social trading desktop app is going to be an array of objects like this. So this is the type. But these are from the project user apps. Okay, and also this. And maybe also this. Yes. Okay, so an array with one object called like this and a config that we're going to inspire ourselves with this one, though I'm not going to put this is not right. Codename localhost. Okay, probably I don't need a config. If it is not really needed, I'm not going to add anything. And pretty much that's it. The other thing that I'm going to do is copy this into here, because here this is going to be mobile. Mobile apps. Okay, so it seems that this task is done too. We have the user apps and the mobile apps. Then a similar trick we will do with the open storage. We create user storage, GitHub storage, and one container. So kind of easy. So in this case, this is called user storage. And the project is open storage. Yes. Open storage is the project. Okay, and inside of this, sorry for switching screen so much. We will have because it's the only one supported right now. GitHub storage. GitHub storage and an object there. Okay, it's not mine, but it's new what we are using. Okay, so here we're going to replace the mine with the new. The same here, 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 and here. Okay, so we have the user storage, and we have an array called GitHub storage containers. This is an array of objects This is the type, GitHub storage container. This is the name. And yes, the config here is a little bit more elaborated. So we will take this but I don't really like this here, so I'm going to put it here. And I'm going to say that the config is JSON stringify. And here we are going to create an object, and we will put a code name that is going to be the GitHub username is going to be owner. I'm not sure that using owner is the right thing to do because we are creating an indirection here, but I will solve that later. So repository name, we will call it like this. So that means that we will need a GitHub repository first with this name. Okay, so let's go back to this owner concept. We already have this at the message. So why use the owner? No. Okay, so we eliminate the concept of owner. So when we are going to call this repo, what we mean is this. See how things are much easier to read after this. Okay, and to be 100% explicit, I'm going to do this. So how do you like that? This is organization. Now it looks beautiful now. before I forget that this is wrong. So now this code is looking good. Okay. Okay, so there is another thing we should do is here const. I expect in the future not to use the same name always, but for now that is good enough. Okay, so the first thing we are going to do is to create a new repo. Let's create this repository. Add the GitHub at GitHub. And then add the user storage nodes, the user profile. That is what we have done already. Okay. One thing that I forgot is that this Web3 that we are using here comes from somewhere, and it's here. Okay. So again, we need to do GitHub stuff. So let's go back. Let's go back here. And I guess this is create, but we will check GitHub documentation. Where did we have that? Create a fork, list repo, create a repo. I really don't understand these guys. Why is so difficult to get help from the most common stuff to do, that is creating a repository? Create a repository project. What a name. Okay, it seems to be this one. Um, what I'm thinking now, should the repository be private? No, because people need to access those stuff. Okay, name, description, and private. And the method is for authenticated user. Okay, let's do that. So name, okay. So repository created, repository not created. Okay, so we will need to test what happens if we want to create a repository when we already have it. So there are several things I will do. One is put this into a function. Um, so function add nodes. It will be all of this. And here we create the functions repository created. Um, okay, like this. So if the repository is created, we add the nodes. And if repository is not created, it will depend, because here we will have an error if error status equals I don't know what how much. That means that repository already existed. So to create it, then we also add nodes. And if that is not the situation, then we will have to resolve like this. Error creating repo at GitHub. We send the error stack and we finish. Okay, so that's how we deal with that problem. Okay, so two more things to do. Add sign-in accounts and save this stuff. Okay, so we're going to leave it here, and take another episode for these two guys. So to recap, what we did today was um, to create the wallet, send back the private key, probably also the address. Okay, we will say the user, this is your wallet address and this is your private key. Copy it in a safe place. Then we added user apps nodes and we solved the open storage stuff, creating the repository where we're going to store the data. Okay, and next in the line for the next episode is add sign-in accounts and save user profile to an app storage. Okay, and then we would be done. So thank you for watching this one and see you on the next one.